Now, despite how much money is at stake in the film industry with each and every project, it's actually surprising just how often plans change at the very last minute, especially when it comes to the names and faces starring in a movie. So let's take a look at them. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are the 10 best last-minute replacements for actors in major movies. Number 10. Hugh Jackman over DOUGRAY Scott. Though it's impossible to think about nowadays, Hugh Jackman actually wasn't the first choice to play Wolverine in Bryan Singer's groundbreaking original X-Men movie. Singer originally envisioned Russell Crowe for the part, but he turned it down and instead recommended his pal Jackman. Singer, however, ignored his advice and offered the part to the more established DOUGRAY Scott, who then accepted. Fate intervened though, as Scott was forced to withdraw several weeks after principal photography had begun due to scheduling conflicts with the delayed Mission Impossible 2. Singer quickly cast Jackman as his replacement, and though the casting of the fairly unknown Jackman sparked a lot of skepticism online, almost 20 years later it's tough to imagine Scott taking the role to the same brilliant places. Number 9. Christopher Plummer over Kevin Spacey. All the Money in the World. Ridley Scott's biographical thriller was filmed during the summer of 2017, with Kevin Spacey spending just 10 days on set to portray elderly patriarch J. Paul Getty, under a layer of heavy makeup of course. The film's PR campaign was nuked, however, when sexual abuse allegations surrounding Spacey began to surface, and Scott made the executive decision to cut him from the film entirely. The director quickly recast the role with his original choice, Christopher Plummer, with $10 million worth of reshoots starting just 5 weeks before the film hit cinemas. It was ultimately a bold choice for the better. The movie was able to turn a PR nightmare into a positive industry statement about shunning predatory behavior, and the movie ultimately had an actual old man portraying Getty rather than a rather younger A-lister under distracting prosthetics. Number 8. Arnold Schwarzenegger over Lance Henriksen. The Terminator. When James Cameron was originally conceiving his 1984 sci-fi classic, he envisioned the titular infiltration machine as a fairly regular-looking human, and planned to cast his friend Lance Henriksen in the part. Cameron even had Henriksen dress up as the Terminator and show up to the meeting where Cameron was selling the movie, and lo and behold, it worked. The director eventually changed his mind, however, upon meeting Arnold Schwarzenegger, who auditioned for the role of R.LEE, but was clearly a perfect fit for the cyborg antagonist. But it wasn't a total bust for Henriksen. He was still cast in the supporting role of wisecracking cop Hal, and went on to play the iconic part of Bishop in Aliens for Cameron 2 years later. Henriksen probably could have pulled off the part if Cameron had stuck to the idea of the T-800 being a sleek, unassuming unit that could blend into a room, but he likely wouldn't have ever been as iconic as Schwarzenegger's statuesque, truly robotic performance. Everything worked out for the best, basically. Number 7. Michael J. Fox over Eric Stoltz. Back to the Future. Michael J. Fox was writer-director Robert Zemeckis' first choice to play Marty McFly in Back to the Future, but when scheduling conflicts got in the way, the director cast his second choice, on-the-rise young actor Eric Stoltz. A month into filming though, Zemeckis felt that he had made a big casting mistake, and even with the decision adding $3 million to the budget, it was agreed that the role should be recast. By this point, Fox's schedule was a little less hectic, and he was hired to play Marty as originally intended, shooting his TV show Family Ties and the movie simultaneously, and reportedly just getting 5 hours sleep a night. Fox was a crowd-pleasing delight in the film and its 2 sequels, and it's pretty much unthinkable that anyone else could have taken the part. We'll never know exactly how Stoltz's performance would have turned out, but given that Zemeckis felt like he emphasized drama over comedy too much, it clearly wouldn't have been as fun. Number 6. Viggo Mortensen over Stuart Townsend. The Lord of the Rings. After Daniel Day-Lewis and, believe it or not, Nicolas Cage both turned down the part of Aragorn in Peter Jackson's ultra-ambitious The Lord of the Rings franchise, the role went to the decidedly lesser-known Irish actor Stuart Townsend. With a 14-month shoot ahead of him and leading one of the most prestigious film projects ever undertaken, it was set to be a career-making role. After spending many months training though, Townsend was dismissed by Jackson the day before shooting started, as he felt the actor was too young to believably play Aragorn. Viggo Mortensen was hired as his replacement just 3 days later, and the rest is history. Mortensen absolutely made the part his own, despite having almost zero prep time, and was unquestionably the better choice. However, you do have to feel for Townsend, who reportedly wasn't even paid for his time preparing for the film, and has since retired from the acting profession altogether. Number 5. Mickey Rourke over Nicolas Cage. The Wrestler. For Darren Aronofsky's gritty drama about the professional wrestling industry, he chose Nicolas Cage to play Randy the Ram Robinson. Anderson. But roughly 6 weeks before shooting began, he was replaced with the director's original choice, Mickey Rourke. Reports vary on exactly how Cage exited the role. Aronofsky says that he stepped aside for Rourke, while Cage claims that he dropped out because he couldn't attain the correct physique in time without steroids. Either way, Rourke went on to play Randy the Ram, scoring himself a Best Actor Oscar nomination, which he should have won in all honesty, and rejuvenating his career in the process. Well, for about a year anyway. It's incredibly difficult to imagine Cage, a wonderful actor in his own right, pulling this off as well as Rourke did. Rourke's beaten up face and own iffy stature within Hollywood at the time made him naturally a better fit for this down-and-out role. And let's face it, how many times have we ever been able to take Cage seriously with long hair? Precisely 0. Number 4. Eddie Murphy over Sylvester Stallone. Beverly Hills Cop. Hilariously, Sylvester Stallone was the original choice to play wise-ass cop Axel Foley in the Beverly Hills Cop franchise. However, Stallone took an incredibly hands-on approach with the film's development, even rewriting the script as a straight action thriller with the hero renamed as Axel Cobretti. Paramount just couldn't justify the budget to Stallone's more elaborate concept, so a mere 2 weeks before filming was planned to begin, he pulled out. Just 2 days later, the part was offered to Eddie Murphy, with snappy rewrites taking place to better tailor the script to his personality. It was absolutely the right decision for the movie and the franchise. It's easy to imagine Stallone's version of Beverly Hills Cop being just another forgettable thriller, but Murphy's motor-mouth performance combined with a cracking supporting cast and Oscar-nominated screenplay ensured that it remains a quintessential 80s classic. Number 3. Paul Dano over Kel O'Neill. There Will Be Blood. Paul Thomas Anderson's towering 2008 masterpiece is a perfect convergence of so many incredible elements, not least the fantastic two-header between Daniel Day-Lewis and co-star Paul Dano. However, this wasn't always the plan, and though Dano ultimately played the dual role of brothers Eli and Paul Sunday, he was originally only cast as Paul, with largely unknown actor Kel O'Neill playing Eli. Several weeks into shooting, though, O'Neill was fired from the film by Anderson for reasons that still remain up in the air. Reports at the time suggest that the young actor was intimidated by Daniel Day-Lewis's intense performance style, though O'Neill himself claimed later that it was simply an issue of chemistry, and he wasn't giving Anderson the performance that he desired. Ultimately, Dano gave a brilliant, awards-worthy performance in his own right, while O'Neill has gone on to have a successful career as an independent filmmaker. When a director of Anderson's caliber thinks that a performance isn't working, he's almost definitely right, so there's no real arguing with this one. Number 2. John Travolta over Michael Madsen. Pulp Fiction. The role of Pulp Fiction's Vincent Vega was custom written by Quentin Tarantino for his Reservoir Dogs star Michael Madsen, who promptly looked a gift horse in the mouth and decided to star in Kevin Costner's Western dud Wyatt Earp instead. Tarantino went on to cast John Travolta as Vega, and the results speak for themselves. Travolta scored a Best Actor Oscar nomination and revitalized his flagging career in the process. Madsen has expressed regret over the decision, but at the same time, it's difficult to imagine him bringing the same goofball charm to the role that Travolta did. And number 1, R.LEE ERMEY over Tim COLCERI. Full Metal Jacket. Former Marine Tom COLCERI was originally cast in the role of Gunnery Sergeant Hartman in Stanley Kubrick's unforgettable war classic, but plans changed once R.LEE ERMEY, who was serving as a technical advisor on the film, asked Kubrick if he could audition for the part. Kubrick was skeptical at first, but after viewing an audition tape of him hurling insults at extras, he decided that ERMEY was a genius choice. As for COLCERI, he was reassigned to the decidedly smaller role of the quip-dropping door gunner. Considering that ERMEY was a real drill instructor during the Vietnam War and his magnificent performance remains one of the biggest Oscar snubs of all time, it's inconceivable to think of anyone else playing that part. And there we go, my friends. Those were the 10 best last-minute replacements for actors in major movies. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules, and you can follow me over on Twitter at RetroJ0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice, where I do all of my Warhammer battle reports and streaming outside of work, and it'd be great to see you over there, my friends. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. I hope that you're treating yourself with love and respect, my friend, because you deserve all of the best things in life, and do not let anything or anyone else tell you otherwise, alright? You are a massive ledge, and I want you to go out there and absolutely smash it today. You're not going to be replaced in your own life. You are the main star. Now go out there and live it. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.